So thank you again, guys, for joining in. Today we'll be talking about the impact of our thoughts on our health. We have been listening. We have been thinking about it. We have heard about it so many times. Even nowadays, doctors says be positive, and they do give us antidepressant in different ailments when you go. But it has, I'm sure people now know that the body and mind is really connected. So today we'll be talking about how, and we'll see also how our thought impacts our body in both ways, positive and not so positive, to be honest. So a disclaimer: anybody who is using any kind of medication, please continue to use that. There will be so what should we learn today? What should we know about today? We will implement them in our lives along with the medication. Do not stop your medication without your physician's or doctor's suggestion. Am I clear in that? Good. So today we will be talking about generally what we have seen when we think something. When we think something and something happens, we'll see in our different slides, something happens within our body, and our immune system, everybody knows about our immune system, correct? So our immune system at times get very confused, and that is when they develop diseases like autoimmune. The category of such diseases is called autoimmune diseases. So if I have to say some examples of autoimmune diseases, would be allergy is one of the autoimmune diseases wherein my immune system gets confused and start killing my own cells, and that is becoming disease. In fact, for example, diabetes 1, wherein our immune system, which is designed to save ourselves, from the foreign elements or foreign agents that has come into our body. So we have a immune system together. For example, our spleen, our bone marrow, white blood cell. These all make an army in our body to save ourselves and fight with any foreign diseases, foreign particles that has come in, right? So that is why now when my immune system gets confused due to something and starts killing or starts attacking our own beneficial cells or our own cell, this is what is called as autoimmune diseases. For example, diabetes 1. In this, what happens, diabetes 1, the immune system itself kills the beta cells of the spleen. So there is no insulin. And it is done, my immune system thinks they are doing it for our benefit. However, there's something wrong has been happened. Right? So we'll be talking about that. Alopecia is one of the autoimmune diseases. When our immune system confuses, and then alopecia means at younger age when we start experiencing gray hairs, हमारे बाल सफेद हो जाते हैं. Arthritis can be one of them. When immune system get confused, and when immune system get confused and start damaging the lower part of our body or joints, so that becomes arthritis. So we'll see what happens. So maybe I will segregate this whole talk in two sections. One, to understand how medically it is getting impacted, and then how what happens subconsciously in our brain, and how can we club this together in our understanding and get benefit out of it. Shall we start? Okay, so if you go on, move on, we see, where is it? We see, so this is we. It can be me, it can be anybody. Not so beautiful, but yeah, it is us. Now, what happens when any thought comes into our mind? When any thought comes into our mind, what happens? That thought passes, creates some sensation, which we call as state, some emotion, and then those sensations goes to our amygdala. We have amygdala, and at times if you go in deeper research, it is called an amygdala hijack. The moment these sensations gets into amygdala and they hijack the amygdala pass on a message to our security in charge of our body. It's called hypothalamus. This is situated in people who have learned biology may want to agree with me. Hypothalamus is situated in adrenal gland. We'll not go into so detail about understanding where it's situated, what happens, but generally any thought that comes in goes to amygdala. Amygdala passes the message to hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is responsible, as I said, is the security in charge of our body. It passes on the messages to the immune system or immunology or to our cells by secreting or by producing required hormones. It can be happy hormones, it can be sad hormones. Depends on the thought that it is passing on. We'll get into detail of it later, but just for understanding, hypothalamus is responsible for passing on the message to our immunology or immune system or to our whole body. Moving on, let's see what happens. When that happens, let's say now we'll focus on negative thoughts. The moment we have negative thoughts, similarly, that message is passed on to our hypothalamus, and similarly, hypothalamus, what happens, how these sensations are passed on? These are passed on through neurotransmitters. If you see here, there are neurotransmitters. They are passed on through neurotransmitters, and the important part of neurotransmitter, we call it as neuropeptide. Neuro means our brain, numerology, we can understand, not that number or numerology, but neurons. And peptide means protein. So it's this kind of our protein in the brain which codes our thought. Please pay attention. This neuropeptide or the protein has the capability to code our thoughts, and our cells has similar receptors. If you see here, this is our cell, and see these are the receptors. You see here, and these are neurotransmitters. So only those kind of neurotransmitter will come and sit on this receptor, which is made for each other. So for all kind of thoughts, we have receptors in our cells, and thousands of receptors are there in our cells. In a single cell, I'm talking, we are made up of millions and trillions and billions whatsoever cells. Each cell have thousands and thousands of receptors, and these neurotransmitters or neuropeptide will come and sit on their identical receptors. Now just think, before I go ahead, the interesting part, now if you see the cell full of so many receptors, and every time I'm thinking something and the related neuropeptide is coming and sitting on their respective receptors, just think, if I'm keeping on thinking negative things, similar kind of neuropeptide is being transmitted through neurotransmitter, and most of my receptors are filled with negative thoughts. the important part that we need to know is after some time, this cells breaks into two, and they break when one kind of receptors or one kind of trans peptide is more than others. They will break down themselves into two. Now think within this cell, they have the new cell has less of positive receptors, doesn't it? And that is why we keep on thinking, it is not only we are increasing the probability of me being negative because there is no more receptors, positive receptors, which is there. Indirectly, we are reducing the count of positive receptors because now they are free and they do not have any neuropeptide for that. This is very important to be understood. Am I getting my point? Now, so can we not do anything about it? As I said, God is great. Every 2 months, a new cell is formed. So this gets expired. I would not say expired, but the cells die and they regenerate a new cell. And that is why we keep, it is not a day's task to be positive. It is not a day's task to be negative. We need repetition. If I'm falling ill because of some negative thought, it will not happen in one day. And if I start believing and if I start thinking positive today, I'll not kill all my illness, or I will not become a positive person in a day, today itself, although my journey will start. So I hope everybody understand what happens medically. A wrong thought here hijacks the amygdala, goes to hypothalamus, and that reaction starts happening. Now let's say I'm angry or I'm worried or I'm sad, I'm afraid, whatsoever. Let's say angry. The moment I'm angry, that neurotransmitter, the protein codes my anger, gets into the receptors of my cell. And cell is where is my body is. The immune system starts getting confused what to do. Now what happens when I'm angry? I'm experiencing some kind of fear. Correct? Some kind of fear, some kind of uncertainty. What will happen the moment this things goes in my mind, and then the hypothalamus got the information that something is wrong, something is in crisis. Mr. Das is in crisis. Let's help him. What will happen? Immediately my hypothalamus will start secreting cortisol and adrenaline. Immediately they will start secreting cortisol and adrenaline. What does cortisol does? What does adrenaline does? What adrenaline pumps increases the heart pump of us, because now my brain thinks that I'm in danger and either I have to fight the danger or I have to run. For both of it, I need energy. Where is that energy? And how do I get energy? I get energy through glucose in my body. Correct? I get energy which is there in the form of glucose in my body, which is sugar, saccharin. Now what my body will do, they will move all my sugar level into my, they will push my sugars or say glucose to my blood from liver, and for temporarily they stop creation of insulin. This is called diabetes 2. If it keeps on happening, this is called diabetes 2. When my body is confused and glucose is there in my blood, sugar is there in my blood, and system has stopped producing insulin. Again, we move ahead. So what does it does? It reduces our arteries, blood vessels. adrenaline, so that because they know I have to work harder. So now my body needs power. So the blood will rush towards your heart and brain. Exact example of high blood pressure. Why it is happening? Because my brain is thinking that Mr. Das is in danger and he needs to either run or fight. Had it been a real danger, I would have wasted that excess glucose. I would have, because of my physical movement or exercise, because of my running away or fighting, whatsoever the case may be, I would have utilized that excess glucose or the blood that was pumping in. I would have got exhausted, and when I get exhausted, my blood vessels will relax. Right? Now, what happened? Cortisol does one more thing. Cortisol, what will do? He'll think Mr. Das is always surrounded with some danger. Why don't I start building on fat in his central region? And they will start converting your food into fat and they will store it in your central region, which is called central obesity. Because fat is also a form of energy. When you run, you burn fat, because that is how you get your energy. When you exercise, you burn fat. Actually, we do it another way. Run and you burn your fat, but fat came for a different reason. Right? So now I'm occupied with all wrong hormones that have been secreted in my body, and I am not exhausting it. So I'll get into some kind of disease. Here in this example, clearly I'll be a patient of high blood pressure maybe, and then maybe diabetes. If it goes on, I'll get into depression. Right? Now, let's move on. So this is the medical part, how it works. Let's quickly go through how subconscious, actually what happens. This is a model. Let's see what happens here. So again, this is we. You know, our life is full of events. Our life is full of events. Even I'm talking to you at this point of time, it is an event of your life. You're listening to my talk, it is an event of my life. So we are surrounded with events. So an event happened, let's say any event. We are talking to each other today, it's an event. Let's say it is event 1. Now, we perceive these events with our 5 sensory organs or 5 senses. Everybody knows it. We'll go faster in this. One is visual. Second, I hear, it is auditory. Third, it is touch, feeling. In psychology, it is called kinesthetic. So we have a sensation of touching. This is kinesthetic, the feeling. Olfactory, this sense of smell. Gustatory, the sense of taste. With these 5 sensory organs or sense systems, we take the event into a system. There is no other way. In psychology, the top 3 is more important. Olfactory and gustatory is not much considered, but we'll talk about visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So let's say some event happened. I'm talking to you, and you can see me, you can hear me. Right now, you cannot feel the texture of my skin or texture of my t-shirt, but then you're taking this information through your visual senses and your auditory senses. That is event 1. This is happening. The second, then what happens? This comes to my mind. But after some deletion, distortion, and generalization. For example, today somebody went out and maybe saw so many things. Our eyes in a given instant can see 2.5 million. They can register 2.5 million things. But how many do we remember? Maybe 2, 4, 5, 6, which are important, which are eye-catching. But our eye registered 2.5 million on each instance, right? But we deleted all them all, and we only remember maybe 2, 3, 4. That is how our mind deletes if we don't need it. If my mind thinks it is not important to our existence, they will delete. You will not even know. We see number plates. Do we remember number plates? But fancy number plates we remember. That is how our mind is trained to delete since our prior. Distortion. So see, any instance, any incident has different meaning for different people. Let's say, for an example, I see a small road accident on the road, and as a passerby, I feel something. That accident has a different meaning for me than the person who is lying down there with a hurt on her left hand. Obviously, the event is same, but the meaning of that event for that person who is sitting there with a broken arm is different from the message that I get through that incident. Versus, let's say there is a medical store across the road, the meaning or importance of that incident will be different for that person sitting in the medical hall. This is how again our mind distorts the event. Event was accident happened. I distorted it as per my requirement. The person involved is distorted the event as his or her thought, and then similarly the shopkeeper. And then we generalize. If I have an incident of me losing my purse twice in Gachibowli area, I'll tag that area as pickpocket area. I generalized Gachibowli. You see, your life is full of such things. And then I make an event here. Event one was something else. With this event passes through this filtration of deletion, distortion, generalization, sometimes one, sometimes all. And this is what it comes. For example, I call a lady, I call up one of my friends. The event one is I just call up one of my friends. He did not pick a phone. I distorted. He did not receive because he's behaving pricey. He's an arrogant person. I can say all people who lives in that area are arrogant, generalized. That is event two. So Mr. X is arrogant person. That is the event that came into my mind. And this, please understand, now this event will play a vital role in my life. Now, when I thought that Mr. X is arrogant, I don't care who is, I will not talk to him. See, it's the same information went to my amygdala, because every event will lead you to a state of mind. Happy state, positive state, or negative state. Right? So there are two kinds of states. Positive, we call it resourceful, which is happiness, joy, wellness, creativity. Or unresourceful, sadness, anger, feeling victim, fear, phobia, revenge. These are all unresourceful. There's a difference between resourceful and unresourceful events. Resourceful are events which are told as solved events. These are solved. There is no problem in it. People are happy about it. When we talk about unresourceful events or unresourceful state, these are the states created due to unresolved issue. I am sad because something is bothering me, and something is bothering me because something is still unresolved in my life. Give it a thought. You take any example. In the interest of time, I'm moving a bit faster. But in any kind of negative emotion, just go and think there is an unresolved issue which you are still tackling and unable to tackle. Hence, that is creating you, your unresourceful, making you sad, making you anger. Phobias. Phobias are because of insecurity. Fears are because of insecurity. Revenge. Right? Let's move on. This state will lead to some action in your body. As I said, your heart will start pumping more. Your, what do you say? Glucose will, the level of glucose will go up. This will all happen in your body, and this will create a disease. The The I'm so sorry. The irony is, tell me, do we have control in event one? We do not have control in event one. That accident had to happen, it happened. But do we have control in event two? Yes, if we can work on our filtration, it has an impact. We can change event two here. We have no control in event one. Believe me. Now that event has created a state of mind, which is nothing but emotion, which is nothing but memory, good memory, bad memory. Do we have control over choosing our state of mind to some extent? Yes. If we decide to see the positive aspect of it. We'll come to that. Now, do you have any control over your body's action and disease? Right now, no, because things went wrong due to event 2. Things went wrong, that is for sure. Hormones are secreted. Now, it is your thought who will judge what kind of hormones has to be secreted. Has it to be dopamine, serotonin, 2 of the 5 happy hormones, or cortisol, adrenaline, right? So it depends on how you think. It is not one day's task, I understand, but as a gift, because today is the first day of this series, as a gift, I will teach you all a small exercise wherein at least you can go back in your life and clear one of your painful memories. So what I would need in quick few seconds, think of it. You do not have to share it with anybody. You just have to remember. You just have to remember what is that painful memory which is bothering you till today. You just have to remember that and follow my instruction. Today we will knock off one painful memory of your life, and same exercise you can do yourself, and one by one knock off all such painful memory which is stopping you from growing. Maybe this is one of the exercises that I'll teach you today, which is this kind of our neuro reiki. When I say neuro reiki, if I get some time, I'll explain what is neuro reiki. But that course is full of such exercises wherein we think what we want to think. There are techniques wherein we remove phobia like anything. Without wasting time, we have 5 minutes. I promise in this 5 minutes, you'll get rid of one painful memory from your life. So I'll give one clearly 5 seconds to get ready with the thought. Sit properly, spine straight, close your eyes. Think of that memory. Think of that memory. Now, be relaxed. Your spine should be straight. See that you are sitting in a room. You are sitting in a room wherein you are enclosed with a glass cabin. You are enclosed with a glass cabin. And you see in that room, in that big room, you see a TV in front of you. Switch on that TV. That TV is in the same room where you are sitting with a distance of maybe 10 feet, but you are enclosed in a glass cabin. The glass cabin is separating you from the TV. Switch on the TV, use your hands, switch on the TV, keep your eyes closed, and see that painful memory is running on that TV. See it. See it. See it, that painful memory is running in your TV. Good. Now imagine you have a powerful remote control in your hand. Take something in your hand. If there is nothing, just make a gesture in your hand that you have a powerful magic remote control in your hand. And start muting. Start reducing the volume of the TV. Start reducing the volume of the TV. Press the button harder and see, then in the screen, the volume bars are coming down, 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 50, 50, 45, 40, 35, 20, 15, 5, 2, 1, 0. See the mute icon there. See if you can hear anything in that TV now with the incident going on, with your painful memory running on the TV. There is no sound. There is no sound. Now there is another button in the TV, there is another button in the remote control, switch it on, so press it harder, this will make the picture black and white. See the colorful picture that is going on in your TV, press it harder, see it happening, see it going on to the grayscale, now black and white, now black and white, now black and white. There is no sound, there is no color, there is no sound, there is no color in the movie that is playing in your TV, which is nothing but the incident that has happened. Please quickly scroll the movie front and back, see if there is any color or any sound. If there are, please make it colorless, black and white, or mute it. I hope everything is done. Now fix a frame. Fix a frame in the TV which depicts the incident clearly. Fix a frame in the TV as a poster. Fix a frame, a black and white frame, a black and white picture in that frame. Fix it there. There is no sound. There is no sound. Now there is a third button in the remote control. There is a third button in the remote control. Please press that yellow color button in the remote control. Please press it harder. The moment you press, your ceiling, your roof is getting separated. Please see, please feel your roof is getting separated. Moving apart, and TV has started floating out. TV has started floating out with the picture of your life, with the picture of a painful life. The TV is moving out, it has crossed the roof, it is going higher, up in the sky. The TV started looking very small, because it has gone far away from your life. It is going on, you hardly can see it, It is going nearer to the sun. Please see the sun, it is going nearer to the sun, and with the heat of sun it has burned. You see with the sun's heat, it has burned. You can see that spark. The TV is burned. You notice that ashes of the TV with the memory is burned. The ashes is flying down. The ashes is flying down towards you. The ashes is flying down towards you. Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand and feel the ashes on your hand. Please raise your hand and feel the ashes on your hand. Rub your ashes. Rub the ashes and throw it away. Dust your hand. Dust your hand. Now, this memory, painful memory, is out of your life. This painful memory is out of your life. It will never bother you again. Slowly be aware of your breath. Be aware of the sounds around you. And whenever ready, please open your eyes with a smile. With this, I think we are on time. If any questions I can take, but in case Zoom closes off, we will get back to the same link if you want.
You still have time. Actually, Zoom extended the time for you.
Zoom extended the time for us?
Yes.
Thank you, Zoom. So any questions, any feedback that people want to give, anybody? People can raise a hand and we can unmute them. Anybody who raises hand? I think Daisy. So I'm unmuting you, Daisy. You unmute yourself and share your experience. We cannot
Good
hear
evening,
you,
sir.
Daisy.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Daisy. Please
Hello.
go on.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, Daisy.
Sir, that was very great, sir.
Which one was great?
Uh, the thing you said about TV and the
Okay,
painful
the
memories.
exercise. Okay, so did you do the exercise, Daisy?
Yes, sir.
So you don't have to share. You don't have to share the issue with us. Just help us. What was the pain rating from 1 to 10? 10 being the most painful memory. Before this exercise, how would you rate the pain between 1 to 10? And after this exercise, what is your painful rating? Can you share with us?
Yes, sir. So before the exercise, it was like 8 exactly.
Okay. Now, if you think about
So
the
after,
memory,
sir,
now if you think about the memory, what is the pain level?
it like 3 or 4.
Very good. So you enjoyed. Now you can use this technique, Daisy, with all the other memories that is bothering you. Anybody else? Thank you, Daisy. Is there any question that you wanted to ask?
No, sir, nothing.
Thank you so much for sharing, Daisy. Anybody else wants to share? Let me see. Any hands? Any hands? No hands? Anybody who wants to share? Let me tell you, courage also produces dopamine, which is positive, which is happy hormone. So let's see how many happy hormones are there. Anybody? Am I missing on somebody? Nobody? Well, anybody has it? I see. Okay, let me. Okay. I don't know the person's name. It is coming 19011 BC 037. Please
Yes.
unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
I'm Aishwarya.
Okay.
What if we want that memory?
I'm sorry.
What if I don't want to delete that bad memory?
If you do not want to delete that bad memory, the easiest way to not to do is exercise. Number one. But there will always be a good reason to keep the memory with you, and there will always be a good reason to get rid of a memory. See, if something is bothering you and stopping you from your growth, which you deserve, I think we should let it go. There are memories, there are emotions which are very close to our heart, but then at times it is good, at times it is very, very, very good to let it go, because it will stop you sometime, somewhere, to reach your ultimate potential. In the interest of time, I'm unable to explain in detail. I think, yeah, you are Lavanya ma'am students. Am I correct in that? You there? Okay. But it is always it is always good to get rid of some thoughts or some emotion which you think is holding you back. Anybody else who can share about their, not about their painful memories, but what is the result they felt? Nobody? I see a lot of people whom I know. Rupa, would you like to share? Anybody? Any questions then? If nobody wants to share, are there any questions or else we can wrap up then. Lavanya, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to share?
See, regarding this exercise, in terms of dealing with this painful exercise, uh, like someone was asking that what if we don't want to erase that? The best way is like you're not doing the exercise. But the thing is, most of the time, in terms of our potential, because of these painful memories, we may not look ahead of our life. There may be some untapped potential in us, but we are still stuck with the old ideas and thoughts and in term our fears and all. So get anything of this kind of painful memories until unless that's empowering you. So there'll be few things like a person was insulted very badly. That's a very painful memory. But having that memory is encouraging you to do the best. Like you want to prove that you're wrong.
Yes. So, Lavanya, this is a very good point. I would like you to remember me. I think third week from now,
You insulted me,
we'll be
saying you are
talking
not
about.
a good student.
I'm sorry.
I'm there. Yeah.
So this is a very good point. So this has to do with motivation. So next week we'll be talking about the thoughts and the food. And third week from now, we will be talking about motivation where I will take care of this statement. You know, for a gist, I can say there are two types of motivation. I get motivated to do a work to achieve something is one, which I call as towards. I want to achieve something, I'm working. I want to achieve something, I got motivated to work. Right? There is other way of motivation also. I don't want to get scolded from my wife, hence I'm doing something. That is also motivation. Am I making sense? So we'll talk about this in detail. Lavanya, please remind me. Please remind me. Third week from now, we'll take this topic. This is I've already planned about this. This is we will talk about motivation. Yes, people can remember some incident, and to get rid of that pain, they get motivated to do work. But it is not good in the long run. We will take care of this in upcoming, sessions. Thanks for bringing it up, Lavanya. Very good point. Very good question. I see Rupa raising hand. Rupa, please unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Rupa.
Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So that was a great session. And even I worked on one of my painful memory, and I see the result is being really amazing. So to rate it, I would say it was 9 before, and I really don't remember that incident. So we would really want to look for some sessions like this on a regular basis if you can. I was trying to share the same thing, but somehow I was not able to unmute myself.
I'm sorry?
I was trying to unmute myself, but some issue, so I couldn't see that. So.
It seems we all are new to Zoom. We'll learn in this journey of these sessions. No worries. So what I hear, Rupa, so your memory was at 9, right? And now you don't even remember. It happens at times. Remember till now, I would say it would be 1 or 2. At times it happens, you don't even remember. I had experienced so many. Right? I will take 2 more minutes. I forgot to share one story just about the belief, and it is a real story. How our belief system works. With this story, we'll close this session. Right? Now, there was in America, there was a doctor called Dr. West. And there was a person who was suffering from, cancer in his under his armpit, if I'm not wrong. It was a long back. I learned about this, but he was having a cancer as big as a tennis ball, the size of an orange. yeah, somewhere near his armpit, and it was already very it was already at a last stage or something. But he came to know about some medicine that was introduced those days, and it came into the newspaper. The main salt, the main component of that injection or medicine was cribozan. So, and they believed, it was believed that it is a very good medicine for cancer. Now he went to the doctor, Dr. West, and said, "Doctor, I found that this is a medicine. Can you not give me that medicine, and I will get cured?" So doctor says, that yes, I have the medicine. I also heard about it, but we can. It is not for people like you who has already past the limit. You are on the last stage, but then this medicine is for the people who are at the initial stages, first stage, some stages, at the initial stages. But he still kept on requesting, "Doctor, anyways, let me try. Anyways, I'm going to die, but let's try." Right. So now, when he says that, when he says that, the doctor understands that, okay, he gives him that injection. Right? He gives him that injection. And he goes back happily, the person goes back happily to his home. Within 3 days, there was nothing. There was nothing. Believe me, you can. If you need, you can still find out this in internet. I believe there was nothing. He was totally healed. There was no name of cancer. Right? So he was happily living. Few months later, maybe 2-3 months, I don't remember. Another article came in the newspaper that this cribozan is useless. It was only a hype. It was nothing. Okay. The very next day, the cancer developed. He rushes to the doctor, Dr. West, and says, "Doctor, I have see, this is what they are saying. These are all crabs they are saying, and see, I have developed the cancer again." By then, Dr. West understood that this is not the medicine effect. This is his brain effect, his mind effect, his belief. In psychology, there is a concept called placebo effect. In Google, you can find it. So he understood that, and he played with him, saying, "No, Mr. X, yes, what you have heard about the medicine is correct, but they are talking about current manufacturer, current batch number. But the first batch was very effective. You see, your cancer was cured. I have one foil from that batch. Would you like to have one?" He said, "Yes." He gets that injection. The very next day, cancer goes off. Again, few months he survived. Then again, an article came. Now with the WHO stamp saying this is really a crap. We need to take it off from market. That breaks his heart. The very next day, the cancer, gets bigger. It bursts, and he loses his life within a night. That is the power of our belief. Anyways, with this, so that our belief system is one of the strongest systems that we can have. This either makes us or breaks us. In our future sessions, we will always also be touching these important factors. But with this note, please do not let your belief system go down, or do not let anybody else push your belief system down. You believe what you are. Do not let others believe what you are. And do not let others' beliefs believe you what you are. With this, thought, I will end this session. Again, thank you so much for sparing your time and joining this session. I hope it added some value to your life as far as wellness is concerned. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.